Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ismail Isaji, and I'm from CMS, Centers for Program Integrity. With me today is Payam Musami from KPMG, and we're honored to be here today. We'd like to spend the next few minutes talking about our innovation to automate the intake of submitted medical records. CMS is responsible for implementation and oversight of many nationwide health programs. Like many other government agencies, CMS is congressionally mandated to annually measure and report improper payments to health plans and providers. For Part C managed care, the Risk Adjustment Data Validation, or RADV as we call it, is the program or the mechanism we use to assess the accuracy of Part C payments. In RADV, CMS selects a sample of enrollees to review from health plans offering Part C coverage. These health plans or Medicare Advantage organizations, or MAOs, must submit medical records and documentation to CMS to justify diagnosis and payments. Once submitted for review, CMS uses a medical record review contractor to analyze these medical records and determine if payments are supported by the submitted document. In this process, CMS on an annual basis today reviews at least 40,000 medical records. And the number is expected to grow as we expand our reviews. The medical record review process is very time-consuming given the limited number of resources and the sheer volume of the documentation submitted. So feedback to the health plans and providers is very untimely. The first step of the RADV process is called intake. In this step, medical coders perform admin services and checks to determine if the submitted medical record is valid, is for the correct beneficiary, is within the proper time period, and has no formatting issues like page rotations or file encryption, corruption, or things like that. CMS was looking into ways to make the RADV process more efficient by speeding up the review process and providing more timely feedback to the stakeholders. As the number of reviews and submitted records is expected to double for the next year, one way to achieve these goals and keep up with the increased volume was through the use of automation and intake review process. Now I'd like to turn it over to Payam to discuss the solution and the benefits.
Thank you, Ismail. So basically, we have a manual process that's repetitive, high volume, and frankly, we don't have the manpower to do this. So, sounds like a really good use case for automation. So let's talk a little bit about the process itself. So as Ismail said, it's basically the core of it is this medical record that can be anywhere between a few pages to hundreds and thousands of pages. And it's all unstructured data, scanned in, and basically, if I'm a manual person, I'm going to each one of these records, and I open it up, and let's, as an example, where we talked about one of the checks that they need to do is that in those 300 pages, is it for the right person that they submitted? And there could be that on page 67 of that 300-page document, there was a medical record by accident from someone else that was submitted. So if I'm manually doing this page by page, I'm going there checking, is it matching? Again, there's not a particular format or anything like that. So how did we automate this? So we basically, first we applied optical character recognition, OCR, to digitize this. Now we have digital data. Now we need to make sure it's the right person. So that means, is it the right name in there? Is it the right date of birth? Is it all matching? That's easy for a human potentially to do, but for a machine, now you talk, there's a physician name there, there's a patient name there, there's a street name there, these all look the same. So we actually created these microservices that basically use natural language processing and machine learning to distinguish between, what's the date of birth, date of service, all these things. And now that we have all that data in more structured format, out of all this 300-page document, now we could do the validations and say, yep, this page is good, and all of that is good. And finally, so I'm running a little bit of time, we also use robotic process automation. But basically, the results that we're getting, we went from something that was taking months to do, and now it's taking days. We're getting over 90%, 95% accuracy, over millions saved. It's currently in production, and we're very excited. And really, I think, as Ismail said, the main problem here we're trying to solve is that there's more volume. It's expected to double in the future years, and just the manpower can't catch up. So with this, with artificial intelligence, NLP, intelligent automation, we're able to accomplish and meet the goals of CMS. Thank you.